All right, so welcome everybody. Great to see you here. I'm so happy to welcome you. This is our 5th year for hosting the WISER Womanium Quantum Program. Many of you may know us from the past many years. We've been doing this since 2022, where we got started. Give me a minute and I'll share my slides as well, which you just heard from Dr. Sprout Crowder, and a little bit now about us. So welcome. This is your first day for an exciting 6 weeks. I'm so happy to welcome you. My name is Prachi. I live and work in Washington, D.C., and I'm one of the co-founders of Womanium, who many of you may remember, and then the founder for WISER. So WISER, why WISER? WISER because we're all getting older and hopefully a little bit wiser. But also because we've not just focused now on getting more women into STEM, that continues to remain our mission, but also focused on research. And you'll hear a little bit more about it from my colleague Vardhan. The goal of WISER is simple. We love STEM, we love science, we love education, we love research, and we want to advance all of these fields together. Many years ago, I had the fortunate incidence of meeting one of the directors of an agency called DARPA. And DARPA is the agency that created things like the internet, GPS satellites, and many other technologies. And when I met the director, I could see that even the director is looking at things that are still 5, 10, even 15 years away in terms of technology. And that's when we realized, if you want to bring these technologies to the future, we need to build the workforce that's going to make these technologies real. And this is where we created WISER. As a goal is to train people in advanced technologies, things like quantum computing that are still away. But again, with all of you coming and joining, you can make it into a reality. So some things here with WISER, who's with me in the team, and you'll meet some of these folks in the next couple of days. But I'll introduce you to Rachel Johnson. Rachel is our head of learning and communications. She's amazing. She works out of Colorado. And you'll be interacting with her in the next many days. Also, I want to give a shout out to Dane Cruz. She's based out of Philippines. She's amazing. She will be making sure that you're all added to the learning management system, to the website, to Discord. Just be patient, but she'll be there very soon. Vardhan Sehgal, many of you know him already. So Vardhan He's a physicist and he's been a head of quantum solutions and research for many years. In fact, he started like some of you may have started. He started volunteering with Womanium in 2022 and has been with us through the journey ever since. And of course, you've already met Abeynaya and she'll come back soon. So Abeynaya is a quantum advisor and she's actually crafted this program especially for each one of you, just given how interesting and how topical optimization is. She made sure, and we worked for the last many weeks to make sure to bring this program to you. And lastly, you'll also meet Nithya. Nithya is a young computer science PhD researcher at the University of Maryland. And she's come in and helped us craft this program as well to think of AI and quantum together. So we worked really hard the last couple of weeks. I hope you have a good time. Just a little bit of history. Like I mentioned, we are coming from Womanium. Womanium in 2022 started off with strongly on quantum computing itself, understanding the fundamentals. 23, we said, quantum computing is still, as Dr. Scott Crowder mentioned as well, it's near term, but still not fast enough. In fact, what's more advanced than quantum computing and near term are quantum sensors. So really focused on quantum sensors, things like nitrogen vacancy sensors, OPMs, squids, all kinds of different sensors to help understand, well, where is this technology? What makes quantum computing hard actually makes sensing even more special. So that's what we focused on. 2024, of course, the AI focus started, I think, globally. Everybody was thinking of AI, and we combined quantum and AI as topics. And last year, this is Abeynaya, when she joined us last year, and given her inclination towards maths, she made a program on quantum for PDEs. So how do we use quantum algorithms and how do all of you learn it to solve some of the world's hardest problems? All right, so who is here today? Every year since 2022, we've had over 2,000, 3,000 students. This year, actually, it's not just students. This year, it's going to be different. The focus is, how do we make sure we remain global and still really focused on cutting edge topics. So this year, the cohort is smaller. You guys are all hand-picked. I think you notice as well the criteria for joining the program was just a lot stronger, a little bit more difficult. And that's because this is a harder topic, but it has applications everywhere. But please go to Discord, go to the just join teams, go to networking, go to share your world, share more about your world. We want to know about all of you. Share more about networking. Again, optimization can be applied in so many different fields. So you want to learn from you where you're applying optimization. And of course, Discord, we'll get into that shortly as well, what else Discord can do. But we really have a global cohort. Again, this year, people are coming from 68 different countries. Yeah, and of course, we have tons of great speakers lined up for you. So very excited to have you here. All right. And from a quick show of hands, whichever channel you can access on Discord, can you tell me what are you most excited to learn about this summer? Put it in live questions if you have access. I know not all of you have. Otherwise, put it in general chat, general fun chat. So, what are you most excited to learn this summer? Okay, I see some folks saying real world applications. Makes sense. Yep, agreed. That's always very fun and exciting for me as well. AI, machine learning, quantum computing, great. A lot of people are seeing B as well, AI and machine learning. That's definitely, if you have questions, Abeynaya is your person. No one knows AI and machine learning quite like her. So awesome. Okay. Optimization and AI agents. I agree. AI agents, I think, are everywhere. How do we use AI agents to help optimize systems? It's a good question. Okay. Hybrid systems. That's a good response as well. Okay, and then some people say I'm interested in everything. So this is great. I'll hand it off to Abeynaya now, but we have 6 weeks of an amazing program lined up for you. And as usual, about 4 weeks of project-based focus after that. All right, over to you, Abeynaya.
Yeah, thanks, Prachi. So yeah, as you know, the program theme this year is in the future of optimization. I just kind of want to set the stage a little bit, why are we still talking about this? We all know the optimization is at play all around us, whether it's the route that you took to school today or the recommendation that you got on your social media feed, or to the big problems that we're all collectively solving, like drug discovery and climate modeling, right? All of these problems are really kind of posed as optimization problems. And I learned recently that gradient descent was actually developed in 1847, and it was one of the first mathematical algorithms for optimization. And nearly 200 years later, we're still using it, and we're improving upon it. In fact, many of you know, stochastic gradient descent, which is a variation of this, is what's still being deployed for training the latest machine learning models. Isn't that amazing? We're still using it. Next slide, please. Oh, yeah, sorry. So we have, as humans, we have thought about optimization for hundreds of years. So why are we still talking about it? Isn't this a solved problem already? No. So as we progress, the scale and the stakes of optimization also grow with us. We want to discover drugs that can cure cancer. We want to develop more energy efficient fuels that can handle our growing population. We want to build supply chains that are resilient to climate disruptions. The problems aren't just getting bigger, they're fundamentally harder. So how do we tackle this? But for the first time in decades, we have new tools that are powerful enough to tackle these challenges. Quantum computers can explore solution spaces that classical algorithms cannot reach, while rapidly advancing AI systems are even discovering novel algorithms. And this brings us to a topic that we'll be talking about this summer, which is what is really there for the future of optimization. I believe that the future of optimization is spread across all these paradigms. There is really no one solution fits all recipe for this. Classical optimization, as we talked about, it has been refined over decades. There are powerful, nuanced solvers like linear programming, branch and bound, simulated annealing that can tackle a wide range of problems quite effectively. Whereas quantum computing, it's new, it's emerging technology, and it offers new ways to explore the solution spaces and has the potential to reach beyond classical limits in terms of discovering new local optimas, or even at one point I hope that we would also be able to get there faster, for faster runtime to get to the solution. And AI, as we all know, it's advancing really rapidly, and it's discovering algorithms and frameworks that we never thought of. The recent AlphaEvolve work from Google is a striking example of this. We are at a rare moment where the boundaries between classical, quantum, and AI are all kind of blurring or converging together. The researchers working in each paradigm and each domain, they're really learning from each other and pushing it all forward. And what we want to do is we want to add you into that conversation. And next slide, please. So we have experts across these domains going to come and talk to you in this 6-week program. I've highlighted a few of them here, and we have many more. We have Emily Tucker from Clemson University, who's going to talk about how classical optimization is changing in a world that's driven by quantum and AI. And we have Monica Van Deren from NVIDIA. She's going to talk about the intersection of HPC and quantum, and she's also leading a hands-on session on CUDA-Q for optimization problems. And we have Carlos Flores from Kipu Quantum, and he's looking at it from a very interesting angle. He is looking at how quantum combinatorial reasoning can be used to make LLMs smarter. And we have Taylor Patty from NVIDIA, who's looking at it from the other angle, how AI can be used for quantum computing. And we have Stephen Jordan here from Google, and he's going to talk about this new method. It's called DQI, which is is now the state-of-art method for quantum algorithms for optimization. And yeah, we have him talking about the technique that they developed, and we also have a hands-on session later from Catalina at Penny Lane, kind of implementing that technique in Penny Lane. And another person I wanted to mention here is Javier from Chase, and he's going to talk about, how like kind of connecting classical and quantum, like how quantum algorithms are being used to develop better classical algorithms. So he's going to talk about these tensor networks, are which are like kind of like a quantum inspired classical algorithm technique, and he's going to talk more about it. So I really want to highlight here that there is no one clear answer. Like there is no one like, oh, it's just going to be classical versus just going to be quantum or just AI. All these experts, they're really like kind of working across these domains, and they're really trying to kind of combine classical, quantum, and AI, how each can support the other. And that's really what I want you guys to take away from this program. Like think about it in a very broad context. Don't be limited to like one domain or one way of thinking. Like learn from other fields, like other experts, like work with your peers and to learn many of these things. Next slide, please. So what will we learn? I've already highlighted a few of them in the last slide. We'll be talking about the state-of-art quantum algorithms, including things like Kubo formalization, quantum annealing approaches. We'll also be talking about DQI, which I mentioned before, and we'll talk a lot about like how AI and quantum workflows can be integrated, and how high performance computing and quantum can be integrated. And also many of you are excited about talk about real world applications. We will have experts across industry and academia kind of coming and talking about the applications of quantum optimization to various different problems like material discovery, finance, and so on. Yeah, we have a fun-filled program for you this year, kind of covering all these three domains and kind of talking about algorithm research and also applications. The next slide. Yeah, over to you, Vardhan.
Actually, before we say goodbye to Abeynaya, do you want to take a couple of minutes, since you are on the spotlight, to share a little bit more about you and what excites you in your research?
Yeah, sure. What excites me? So I started I did my undergrad degree in chemical engineering, and I realized that I really just have fun doing math, and I just wanted to do math. And so then I did my PhD in computational and applied math, and I feel like that kind of changed my career trajectory. I come from a very classical computing background. I worked a lot on numerical linear algebra and optimization and high performance research in grad school. And I didn't really get into quantum computing till I did my first job at Raytheon Technologies. And yeah, just kind of from there, it's kind of like self-taught myself quantum computing. And I kind of never looked back after that. It was like a lot of fun. Like, I think what motivates me is the underlying math. Like, math is what gets me excited, and developing algorithms, just thinking about algorithms and how they can be developed well for efficiently for different problems. And some of these things that I'm talking about, like kind of the intersection of these fields, like this is really exciting to me. Like because I come from a classical computing background, and I very strongly resonate with this, in that like we have had so many experts working for decades on classical computing, developing all this like niche algorithms that are specifically tuned for a particular problem, particular application that we're interested in solving. Whereas when you come to quantum computing, a lot of it are like, big black box algorithms that are, it's kind of like just one algorithm that are being applied for different problems, right? And I feel like we need to kind of break that, and we need to like learn what we can learn from like, classical experts, and, using AI tools to also kind of accelerate that process, and to really kind of break this mold, and to like start thinking about quantum algorithms also like similarly to classical algorithms, kind of developing these like niche quantum algorithms tailored for a particular problem, tailored to like kind of load the data inefficiently, kind of to take advantage of the structure in the problem to develop better algorithms, things like that. That's kind of what I'm excited about in terms of research.
Okay, very good. Perfect. So what are some things and 3 things that people should take away from this program?
3 things. Learn to ask questions, right? There is no wrong question. Just, you might be coming from this one particular, you might be like a classical optimization expert, right? Like you might not really know about these other areas. Ask questions, learn from your peers, I feel like we are moving at a stage where it's not just going to be one frontier anymore. It's all kind of coming together. So this is the right place and right time to kind of work with everyone to learn new things. We cannot discard any one area. Like we need to really like think about everything. I would say like kind of develop like, like Scott said, with AI advancing rapidly, like learning to code is not as much as a challenge anymore. You have all these like coding agents now that's really doing the job for you. I mean, I use it a lot for my work. I mean, I don't know when is the last time I wrote code. So what's really going to like be important for you is to think about like the underlying math, right? Like, are you understanding the math well? Are you able to like develop new things that, like in the current stage, at least that AI cannot do? Like, so kind of when you're trying to growing your skill sets, think about that. Keep that in mind always. I would say third thing, I don't know, like, we have these amazing experts for you. Like, please ask questions, right? Like, I don't know if you would when you would get another chance to like meet all these experts in the same place over like 6 weeks, right? Like, make the best use of them. Like, ask them a lot of questions. There is no wrong question. Just ask them like whatever you want, like, how they got there, like how do they think about, working across these different domains. Yeah, be curious, ask questions.
Perfect. One last thing, because I know you have to go shortly, but this is a technical question. How proficient in maths do we need to be for this program? Or do we need to know mathematical optimization?
I think if you already have the skills, that would be good. For some of the topics, like, probably the one on DQI, it's probably going to be heavy, like, it's going to assume that you have some knowledge of like math and technical things. But for a lot of the other talks, it's going to be more basic. It's really going to be getting onto the high level idea of how do you kind of think about merging these different fields. So I would say at least an undergraduate level of math knowledge is likely needed.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Excited to see you on Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. Awesome. I'll hand it off to Vedant to talk us about Solutions Launchpad.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Prachi. Hello, everyone. Great to be here and great to have all of you over here as well. So before I dive in, right, let's maybe take 20 seconds of a small breather. I realize that we have been running this particular session today for the past almost 90 minutes, so 1.5 hours. And depending on where you're joining in, you might be very early in the morning, or you might be joining in alongside your dinners, or maybe even midnight if you're joining from Philippines or somewhere around that region. So let's just take a minute to breathe in, relax. And the next couple of slides will be very, very exciting because this is something that we have put in a lot of energy, put in a lot of effort over the past many years to be where we are today. And this entire program has been built for you. So while we relax, I would encourage everyone, roughly 500 of you. Okay, that's a big number. So 500 of you who are connecting with us live over here. Yeah, shout out to all of you who are still here. So whichever emoji you are most fond of, let's hear from you on Zoom. So I would request everyone to just, yeah, perfect. Yeah. So all of you, let's try and crash Zoom. Everyone who's still online and still active on our Zoom session, let's react and make everyone else also wake up. Okay, so let's get started, right? So WISER Solutions Launchpad is a program that we started 4 or 5 years ago. And the idea we had in mind was that we wanted to build something tangible, something significant, which builds a roadmap for all of you moving forward. Why are we all over here, right? We want to learn about quantum. Sure. We are interested in this. Sure. We are excited about the technology. We want to learn something new. We might want to try a new hobby. All of that here. This might be the best program in the world. Yeah, for sure. Yes. But at the end of the day, what matters the most is the fact that you want to get something tangible out of this, right? You're learning something new, you are upskilling yourselves, and you want to get something at the end of the day. That could be in the form of a new job. You might be at a place in your career where you want to pivot to something quantum related. You might be already in an industrial position and you want to start implementing quantum solutions at your workplace. You might be a student and you might want to do your research projects in this up and coming new technology. So all of these things, right, these are very significant next steps in your career. And we at WISER wanted to create a program that caters exactly to that. So that is where WISER Solutions Launchpad comes in. There's a program designed where we pick up the best students coming from a summer program, give them a launchpad, as it says, to launch their careers. It provides them an opportunity to connect with some of the best people in the world, get mentorship, get guidance, and work on real problems. So not just toy problems, not just hackathon kind of challenges. These are real problems being implemented in the world. And alongside that, it's a win-win for both parties. So the people who are excited to do hands-on and really get started with doing product, it's a win for them. And at the same time, you work with a lot of corporate partners, a lot of research labs, some of the best national labs, research institutes, corporate partners in the world to ensure that all the solutions that we are developing today, all the solutions that you are developing today are being implemented in the real world itself. So the end goal is not just publishing papers, it's not just, building upon the hype. It's actually trying to make a difference in the industry. We want to make sure that everything that we do today is translated and implemented in the industry tomorrow. So with that, I'd like to double click on the WISER Solutions Launchpad a little bit and go on to the next slide to discuss a little bit more about what this is and how you can all get started over here. So before diving deep, right, and explaining what it actually means, a few highlights of what we have been up to for the past few years. We have been fairly successful in this particular program. We have had 3 startups which have spun out in various technologies, in quantum sensing, in quantum communication, in quantum computing as well. We have 53 quantum research fellows working with us today. So these are all of you, right? People who have graduated from our programs, from our summer schools. They are finally absorbed at WISER itself to work on these amazing, amazing problems, real-world solutions. And along the way, we have had the opportunity to work on 19 industry pilots. These are all successful pilots, projects that have been demonstrated at an industry scale with our quantum partners and corporate partners as well. And along the way, we have built Touchwood, one of the largest quantum communities in the world with more than 85 plus quantum providers, strategic partners, quantum hardware players, quantum software players. So I like to do this with whenever we are explaining Solutions Launchpad, right? Like think of any quantum company in your mind, any name that comes to your mind, IBM, Google, Microsoft, Quantinuum, IonQ, XYZ, right? We work with all of them. So any company that you can think of, it's a pretty solid chance that we are already working with them. And this entire platform is dedicated to that. We wanted to create an ecosystem where everyone comes together and builds for science. So there are 3 broad pillars at WISER Solutions Launchpad that we would like to focus on. So the first one is application. We do not want to work just on, publishing papers. That's good. That's part of the process. But after that, we also want to see all those tangible research outcomes being implemented at industry scale. So we focus a lot on real world applications, real world projects. What is being the current bottleneck in the industry? What is something that the industry people are finding a lot difficult? And we focus all of our energy into that and try solving those problems. The second thing is we want to work at utility scale. And this is something Scott Schroeder also mentioned in the previous sessions. If you're paying attention, Scott mentioned one very, very important thing that today, it's no longer viable to try problems. We are way past that stage. If anyone wants to do anything productive today in the quantum computing domain, it has to be 100 plus qubits. If you're not touching 100 qubits, you are not doing anything significant from an application perspective. We need to cross that boundary time again. That is what our team puts a lot of effort on. And that is not easy. Don't feel like it's something very easy. Everyone does that. Utility scale experiments are a lot more difficult. The hardware access is difficult to get, but even if you get that hardware access, the scaling up to that kind of experiment and getting tangible, real results, effective solutions out of that is tougher than it sounds. So a lot of energy is put into that in ensuring that any kind of experiments that we do today are utility scale so that it is a way to get closer to the quantum advantage. And the final pillar, as we call it, and one of our core strengths is benchmarking. Anything that we do needs to be benchmarked against the classical solutions, because that is the only way where we can compare that. Okay, this is possible in quantum. This is possible on the state of the art on the classical side, and this is how it compares today. Unless we start making those comparisons, unless we start pitting these classical versus quantum versus AI kind of approach, we would all be in a quantum bubble and everyone would be happy, but we won't be getting any good progress done. It's very important criteria in all of our products today that we want to benchmark it against the classical state of the art, so that the industry can also have a very, very clear, transparent idea of what is possible today, what is possible tomorrow, what isn't possible at all, and accordingly, they can start making strategic decisions to help grow the entire industry. And along the way, we have had the opportunity to work with some of the most amazing partners. Some of you can see over here, Naval Nuclear Laboratory, one of our closest and long-term partners, along with quantum companies like Xanadu, Classic, BQP, research institutes like Fraunhofer, some corporates like Vanguard, the second largest financial institute, E.ON, Europe's largest energy utility provider, very recently Nestle, Pramatra, and many, many others as well. So we want to provide project challenges, real-world problems from all of these partners to you so that you can get your hands dirty and start building some real solutions. So all of this talk, right? But one question which you might be asking is that what is in it for you? Where do you stand? What do you get after this program? And that is why I wanted to take a minute to just spotlight some of the fellows that have gone through from this program in the past few years. WISER Solutions Launchpad has been very successfully running for the past few years now. And as many of our fellows have claimed it, this is the direct pathway to the industry. People have come in, they have gotten real world experience, they've gotten real world hands-on opportunity to work on some of the best projects in the world. And along the way, found even better opportunities after the program. So for example, Varun, one of our champions here at WISER, he joined in as a research fellow, got promoted as a technical project manager, and currently he's working as a postdoc at Cleveland Clinic. Cleveland Clinic, if you were paying attention at Scott's previous session, they recently implemented one of the largest 20,000 molecular simulations in quantum chemistry, which is huge, which is the state of the art today. And we are very proud to see that one of our research fellows was a part of that team. Similarly, we have had fellows like Joan, who followed a similar path. She was a research fellow at WISER Solutions Launchpad, and currently she is working as a full-time quantum researcher at the Naval Nuclear Lab. NNL, for those who do not know, the Naval Nuclear Lab is one of the most fascinating research labs in the entire world. They're based in the US and they work on some of the most cutting-edge technologies. In their past almost 100 years of history, they have a track record of being 100% accurate in all nuclear simulations. So they haven't had one single accident as part of the history, which is, to be fair, a pretty sweet benchmark to have at your organization. And similarly, we have had fellows who are graduated to work at DoD, at different quantum startups. Some even founded their own quantum startups. We have had a bunch of fellows who got accepted at PhD programs after a program. A lot of them got their postdoc programs after a program. Some got selected at NASA, recently got selected at BlackRock, the largest financial institute in the world. So we have had a ton of different experiences from our fellows during this entire pathway. And my only point from this slide is to make sure that all this is you. You are the future. And this entire program is built for you. So depending on where you are at your career, what kind of opportunities you might be looking for, this is the direct pathway to the industry. So no gimmicks, no hype over here. The best participants from the summer program moving into the Solutions Launchpad and the best ones after that will get fellowships at WISER Solutions Launchpad. And probably after that, even get absorbed directly into the industry. Next slide, please. And while we are talking about fellows and a lot of focus goes on to fellows and personal pathways, I do want to take a very quick minute to talk about the research impact that the team is also creating. Along the way, while people were championing their cause and getting even better opportunities, the research was also top-notch. We have had the opportunity to publish many, many papers along this way. Some of them even highlighted as utility scale experiments, some of the highest number of qubits recorded in doing these time series prediction, on enhancing corrosion resistance, on developing mini apps for engineering applications, for circuit partitioning, for quantum communication, quantum resources, hybrid quantum classical machine learning methods, and a lot of that goes into it. So I've taken a snapshot over here, and very recently we were also nominated as one of the top quantum algorithms paper in 2026. That is a huge shout out to the team that was involved in that. So great job, everyone who has been working very, very hard behind the scenes to make this kind of research possible. And all of this is, again, because of everyone who comes through this program. So after the summer program, every one of you who would be joining us for the Solutions Launchpad, who would be participating in the project, this is the kind of benchmark you're expecting. So this is not a run-of-the-mill show. We have very, very high standards. So only the best of you would be accepted over here. And the ones who are accepted, they would be held at a very, very high standard to do some of the most amazing research in the world. Next slide. So the obvious question is, how do I participate? Right? this was all very fun. I would love to be a part of it, but how do I actually get involved? So I put on some rough timelines over here. Exact dates and exact next steps will be shared with everyone in a while. But for now, you can take a snapshot of this slide to at least have a rough idea of what the next steps would be. Currently, we are in June. The summer program has started. And this is the most exciting time in the entire year for us, for you, for everyone in this entire cohort. So I want everyone to take the most advantage of that. Focus on all the industry keynotes. We have some of the best of the best of the best speakers coming in, some keynote speakers who you would obviously never have had the chance to listen to, interact with on a personal level. We are making all of that possible. Some of the most important researchers in the entire world will be there as speakers and conducting bootcamp sessions with us in our summer program. So try to take advantage of all of that during these 2 months or so. And while doing that, just one quick point, take a minute and ensure that you are accepted in the program. If you're not accepted already, just make sure that you are accepted, because being enrolled in the WISER 2026 program is the, I would say, eligibility criteria for Solutions Launchpad. Once you are skilled and you will learn new stuff, new techniques on quantum and optimization in June or July, starting in late July or August, we will be hosting some industry project challenges. So these are challenges offered by our industry partners as an opportunity for you to get your hands dirty. So whatever you have learned in the next 2 months, you would be implementing all those techniques in the form of these challenges. So these would be open challenge-based problems, real world problems just scaled down to evaluate you. And all of you would be teaming up and doing project submissions. Along the way, there would be mentors, there would be office hours, there would be interactive sessions with industry leaders and everything to try and build the best solution possible. And while you do that, we would wait for the best solutions to kind of grow from there. One small point I would like to highlight over here is that while teaming up, try to go outside your comfort zone. So don't necessarily, team up with your friends. Don't necessarily team up with the same people as at your university. Try to go beyond that, because this is an amazing, amazing platform for you to network, for you to connect, to meet new people from different universities, from different countries, from different continents, from just around the world. So try to make the best use of that. And along the way, you'll find some amazing folks who you will be connected for the next many, many years of your life as you move into the quantum career field. And after that, there would be certificates. As everyone gets a certificate who participates in the Solutions Launchpad, and there are some awards as well. Surprise for now, but we'll announce that later. And after that, the highlight, starting in late August to September and beyond that, we will be inviting the top team, best teams who submitted their projects for an industry demo day. And demo day is the most crucial part of this entire pipeline, because that is where you would be pitching your solutions to a panel of industry experts. And we would be evaluating those pitches, those 3-minute industry pitches. The top candidates from that entire cohort would then be interviewed and directly invited for the WISER's Research Fellowship. And that is where you become a part of our small family. And I'm already very, very excited and looking forward to that. So with this, I kind of wrap up the portion of sharing about WISER Solutions Launchpad. All the best for everyone. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to learn. And I'm sure we will have a lot of you being interviewed and selected for WISER Solutions Launchpad to work with some amazing, amazing researchers at our team over here. So with that, thank you, everyone. And I'd like to pass on to maybe Rachel for the next set of slides.
Rachel, yeah.
Sorry, I was not unmuted. My bad. Hi, I'm Rachel Johnson. I'm the head of learning and communications here at WISER. You've probably gotten some emails from me over the last couple of weeks. So I will just discuss the course itself, the program, how to get little access. We've had some issues with access because we've made all of our channels private. So we're getting into all of that information. For participation, attending live sessions is recommended. You have the ability to interact and ask questions when you do that. Again, asking questions is important. We're having all questions being put in the Discord live questions chat. If you do not have access to that yet, you will have access by Wednesday. So we're handling that. We have to manually add everybody because we've kept the channel private to reduce noise and issues of people who don't need to be there. With that, on Discord, it's a lively community with lots of people that can help you when you do have questions about technical content. We also do have technical mentors on there that are Oksana and Rose. And then we also have Nitya, and they should be tagged as a mentor in our channels. So if you have questions, they can help address them along with all of the other learners that are in our Discord. So our LMS, or Learning Management System, is the online course. And as of right now. Some of you are added and some of you are not, because again, it is also private and we manually will be adding you. So if you do not have access yet, again, you will have access by Wednesday. We recommend taking notes if that's something that helps you while you're learning. All videos will be posted same day before the end of day on our YouTube channel, and then also added on our online learning course so that you can access them if you were unable to attend or you want to review the content that was gone over. And then finally, making connections with people similarly to discussing things and asking questions. That is what makes our program special and gives you that additional boost that you need to do your best learning. Next slide. So online course access, the LMS, Learning Management System, is where we're going to post all the videos. There are quizzes from each session that you complete while going through the course. They should be things that you can retake, and we are requiring an 80% passing grade on quizzes, and you have an 80% requirement of watching video content to gain their certificate. If you have any issues when dealing with the LMS, you can reach out to us and we will help you. Again, we will be manually adding you to the online course. And the next slide, I believe, discusses how you need to get access to do that. So on our webpage at the very top right, there is a login. It kind of sometimes disappears because of our graphic, but on any of the pages, it's in the top right corner. You click there and it's going to take you to the screen underneath here that says sign up. You have to be a member of our webpage to get access to the course for us to manually add you. So if you have not done that, please go in, create an account on our site so that we can add you to the course so that you have access to the video recordings from today. Next. A brief overview of our other education programming initiatives. We launched 101 a few months ago for people to get a introduction to quantum. 102 will be coming out in August. We're also working on a quantum computing for AI coming out in August. That's a notebook style course. And then additionally, a nitrogen vacancy sensing and advanced quantum algorithms are going to be launched within this year. And we're always looking for new programmatic opportunities and things that the community needs. So that's always something that you can reach out to us with suggestions on things that you would like to see us create for you to learn with. Next, Discord. So we have been having some issues with Discord, same reason as with the LMS. We're keeping it very close-knit and making sure only people who need access to things have access, so it's not confusing and overly busy with stuff that's not needed to be there. So for Discord, this QR code will take you to a Google form. You need to complete the Google form, and it's sharing your Discord username so that we can manually add you to the private summer program channel. So if you haven't completed this form, you'll need to do that. And you can also message us on Discord / email us if you're still having issues by Wednesday. We are going to be working on it between now and then. So if you haven't been added yet and you've already messaged us, please don't message us again. We will go through and try to make sure everybody has been added. But you do have to join our Discord as a WISER group to begin with, and then share your username so that we can add you. Next, certificates. Everybody will get a certificate if they complete the requirements for the course in the learning management system on our website. That little image there is kind of what the certificate looks like. Again, you need to attend 80%. Well, okay, so attendance for the sessions, we are not actually tracking. So you will be required to watch or play 80% of the recordings within the learning management system. And then you will also need to pass the quizzes with an 80% passing rate to gain your certificate. Next, please. And this is going to be passed off to Nitya, one of our technical mentors, and she's going to discuss the student spotlights and her office hours.
Thank you, Rachel. Hi, everyone. I'm Nithya. I'm a PhD student at the University of Maryland. I work a lot in theoretical computer science. I do a lot of work in randomized algorithms and graph theory. So I'm going to briefly be mentioning student spotlights. This is a great opportunity for participants to share whatever you're working on with the general community and all of your peers in the cohort. This does not necessarily have to be a project that you've completely finished or that is polished. A lot of it can be things you're currently working on, concepts that you're building, something that you would like to share, maybe even get some opinions, perspectives, and feedbacks. We highly encourage you to use this as an opportunity to communicate your ideas and to receive a lot of help from the other, very bright, perspectives you're going to get here, especially because people come from different backgrounds, and that's an opportunity to learn something that maybe you hadn't considered before. So these are going to be very short, like, 5-minute presentations. You can reach out to me during office hours to get on the schedule. We've highlighted some possible spotlight topics that you have, and feel free to ask if you have more questions about this. The next slide, Prachi. Thank you. We're also going to be having office hours. So these are going to be during specific Mondays during the program. I'm going to be available for about half an hour, and this is going to be a space to ask questions. I definitely would really want to emphasize that everyone comes from different backgrounds, whether that's technical, whether that is like in the courses you may have taken so far or the work you may have done so far. This is a really great way to sort of, identify any things that maybe you're curious about, maybe you have a lot of questions of. As Abeynaya mentioned, and I also want to stress, there is no question that is too basic or that you should already know or that you feel like you can't ask. I feel like this is definitely an opportunity to be able to explore a lot of these things, and you would be surprised at how many basic questions can actually reveal a lot about very fundamental ideas in the field. So highly encourage that. So we have the office hours schedule on the screen starting the week June 24th and then going through July. It is at these office hours that you'll be able to sign up for the student spotlight if you're interested, ask any technical questions or other questions. So highly encourage everyone to join or drop in when they have the chance. All right, I think that's everything I wanted to cover. So
awesome. Okay, Rachel, back to you. So what expectations for this year?
Yes, so community expectations, we want to encourage a fun and engaging environment. So like Nitya was saying, there are no bad questions. There are no wrong questions to ask. We want to be sure to engage with you and give you what you need to learn effectively. Being supportive of the other learners, we have people here from all over the world, and different time zones mean different people on at different times. So hypothetically, you should be able to get an answer from somebody at any time because we have people from all over. So supporting other people is something we encourage. We are a small team, so we can't always answer every question, and that's why the community is so helpful and important. Again, with sharing resources, also very beneficial. You can do this in Discord as well to assist your fellow learners. We do have different levels of experienced people here. Some people have a very advanced quantum understanding, and some have a less so advanced. So just keeping in mind that everybody is here to learn and that we need to keep it positive and encouraging. Next. So we have a few questions here that would be helpful for you to assess your understanding and learning during sessions. What problem is this method trying to solve is something you can begin thinking about when people are speaking. Why is this problem difficult? What does the speaker's approach make possible? What are the limitations? How does this connect to classical AI, quantum, or hybrid optimization? And then what would I need to learn next to apply this idea? So these are just guides to help you better utilize the content that's shared with you while you're here. I know I mentioned earlier, taking notes can be helpful for some people. So this might be a starting point for your notes for each session to just kind of write these down and then answer them as a session is going on moving forward. And that would be a guide for your note taking. Next slide. We will be having some awards and prizes that will be distributed at the end of our program. We have the superposition supporter. This is a person who is kind of always available and helping guide and mentor other people. We have the entangle mentor. Again, similar kind of vibe for helping, but primarily into the discussions and making it very functional on Discord. Ground state legend, so somebody that's not super present visually, but is very present in working on helping people within Discord. Heisenberg helper, kind of a similar thing. They will be answering questions, contributing behind the scenes. So these are all awards and prizes available to any of our participants. So it's kind of giving you a front end of, we really want to encourage a active and fun community on Discord. So these are the ways that you can get a recognition at the end of the program. Finally, the observable OG. Again, they're all very similar in their function. Generally, it's for being a good learner and supporter of your fellow learners. Next. So this is just a rundown of the program overall. This is also available on our summer program webpage in a different format, but it's the same information so that you can better plan and understand who is going to be speaking. There are some days where we have 2 guest speakers. There are some days where we have the office hours, and then there are some days that have either yet to be filled or will be filled by a WISER team member. So that is what the TBD would be, are ones that are currently still being negotiated, but also will be filled in with a team member from WISER, and or they can also be student spotlight spots. So this is the current schedule as it stands right now. And again, on our summer program page, you can view this in a different format so you can stay on track. Additionally, I'll be sending out emails each week at the beginning of the week and at the end of the week that gives you an overview of what to expect so that you can be prepared to learn effectively. Next slide. I think we're done. Let me see. Okay, next steps. This is the last slide. So again, as I mentioned, for the learning management system, you have to have an account created with our website through the login on any page. So you need to create an account and then we can add you to the course. You also need to share your Discord username on the form that is shared in a QR code right there. And then once you're on Discord and you have access to everything, please introduce yourself to encourage the community to be active. You can always reach out to us at our hello@thewiser.org email if you have issues and need assistance. And we, again, will be working on adding everybody to Discord, adding everybody to the LMS before Wednesday's sessions. And the video recording from today will be added to YouTube as well as our LMS by the end of the day. And I do have an email set to go out that includes links to all of these things for you to access. We appreciate that you joined us for today, and we look forward to seeing you again on Wednesday. Prachi, I'm going to let you end it for us.
Perfect. Well, typically how we end things is we all turn on our videos and including everybody on here and let's say hi to each other. I'm going to see if we can all see each other and say hello. Hi, Oton. Good to see you. I think this is like your third year again, fourth year. I forget. Okay. Vardhan, I will encourage everybody to turn on their videos. Dane, can you also come say hi? Dane is amazing. She's working through her weekends to get everybody added. So please be patient. Dane, can we also let people unmute themselves and say hello? I'm going to stop sharing and wow, look at everybody. Good to see everyone. Hi, folks. Okay. Then can we let people unmute themselves, say hello? I see
They are already allowed
hello.
to unmute.
Okay, hello, everyone.
Hello.
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 Hola.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for the
Yeah.
present. It was awesome.
Perfect. Let's take it one by one. I see Ivan here. You were saying something. Ivan, do you want to say? Ivan's been with us.
Oh, hello.
Ivan Salas since all 5 years, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm doing course for now for keyword.
Okay. Oh, fantastic. We love QWorld. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Very exciting. Okay. Good to see you. Anyone else? Old-timer, Womanium, Wiser folks? Hi.
Hi.
Who else is speaking?
I am from Pakistan. Recently, I am at China doing
Okay.
PhD in quantum computing. My
Awesome.
field is quantum secret sharing and QKD.
Okay, very nice to meet you. Nice to see everybody. Nice to see long-time Womanium folks. Nice to see all the new people. We're excited for you this summer. No, sorry. We are not doing Q&A now. I will just wrap up. We are just saying, yeah, maybe if you guys are in the mood, we have some meetings, right? Okay, why don't we do this 10 minutes, but really quickly, okay? No more than 10 words. What is something you're really excited for this summer? So anyone can unmute, but what is something you're really excited for this summer?
Practical
Sure.
applications.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's in Vardhan's wheelhouse. We are preparing some challenges for you. Good. Anything else?
The projects.
Yes, and the projects, yes. John, actually, if you want to get ahead of the game, and if anyone wants to get ahead of the game, feel free to drop your resume also on our website. It's called General Applications, and you can see it on our website. Put in your resume. We will definitely keep it in our database as well.
Quantum simulations.
Anyone else? What are you really excited to learn this summer?
I'm excited.
Say it again. One at a time.
Quantum machine learning.
Yes. Okay. We'll definitely cover that.
Live computing labs.
Chemistry.
Industrial applications.
So I heard industrial applications. I heard quantum chemistry. Vardhan, do you want to talk a little bit about chemistry? I think we'll get a challenge from Moderna this year. So that should be a really good chemistry one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Is there anything like VQ-based research, ma'am?
Say again. Is there anything like? That's a Vardhan question.
Yeah. I think once the challenges are announced and once the projects are announced, I think all of you will get a better idea of what we have in store over here. So these would be real world challenges, but the problem set would be a little bit more generalized and open. So it's there for everyone, right? If you're just starting out or if you're already experienced, you can tackle the problems at your own level. So yeah, we will try to make sure that everyone is involved in some way or the other. We are also thinking of having a very open challenge on quantum education this year. So that would be open for everyone, regardless of zero experience that you're bringing in. So even if you're starting your quantum journey today, that challenge would be perfect for you.
Thank you.
Anything about post-quantum cryptography or cryptology?
Good comment. That is very, very relevant. Unfortunately, that won't be a topic that we'll be covering in this summer school. Having said that, okay, don't disclose this. I know this is a public, like 500 people are there. But try to keep it with yourselves. There is the new program coming from WISER about cryptography, about quantum communications, about cybersecurity. That would be launched later in the year. So that would be a perfect place where we'll be talking about this particular topic, like how to develop post-quantum cryptography algorithms, how to develop QKT, how to develop those kind of security challenges. So that would be a little bit after, not just in the summer.
I was excited to learn how rare event sampling might integrate into some of the projects. So I read a paper that was published, I believe, on just a few days ago, about 4 days ago on June 4th. So I was excited to learn.
I'm also excited with new ideas and topics since the last.
Awesome. I want to see, do we have folks, which is the furthest time zone we have folks at? Do we have anyone from the Philippines here, Japan, China?
Yes.
There you go. Hi, Eduardo.
Present.
Really appreciate you staying all at night.
I'm from Australia.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Kesava.
It's around 2:30 at the
Very cool. Okay. And then we have folks from below the equator as well. Like we have a lot of South American contingents. Sometimes we have a lot of people from Cameroon. One year we had like 6% from Cameroon. Okay, feel free to say hi. Okay. Any more thoughts, questions? I know LMS Discord is gonna come soon. Don't worry. Any other things you want? We're all on Discord. Any questions you have, we are accessible to you this summer. Keep us posted. And then let's do more office hours this year. This is going to be a different year. It's a smaller cohort. So I think definitely, as Rachel mentioned, we have a lot of prizes. So help each other, get some prizes, but just help each other anyways. I think there's a lot you guys know already to help each other. And we're also here to support you. And we'll have some awesome mentors come in as well. So.
And also I promise to work double time to add you all guys to Discord and Alan.
Yes, thank you, Dane. Yes. But also please try not to email Dane and Discord Dane and also LinkedIn add her on. Don't do that. Just one email is good.
I might go crazy.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, guys, see you in the next couple of weeks. I'm excited to spend the summer with you. We have really good people, really good speakers, and excited to see all of you again. So have a good summer. See you soon. Bye, folks.